Pat Monahan of Train is joining us on the Scott Sand Show, and we're on Zoom as well. If you want to go to our website to check that out, Pat, you look great. How is it that 20 years later, after you and I first met with Meet Virginia, that you look exactly the same, a hot rock star, and I'm this old man with a gray beard now?
Well, you're using the wrong plastic surgeon, buddy. I got the guy for you. I don't know. I mean, I'm just fighting. I'm fighting age with every breath I have left. That's
You're
just
doing
the
a
way you do
doing a
it.
great job, and I'm saying that as a flaming heterosexual male. It's good to see you again. It's been far too long since the last time I saw Train in concert, and I'm really excited about Sunday night at the Toledo Zoo Amphitheater. Have
Yeah,
you
me
ever
too.
played a zoo before? Have you done a concert at a zoo?
We've played the Toledo Zoo before. This was years ago, but yeah, we've done it there before. And uh, I almost went to the University of Toledo.
Did you?
My best friend at the time was he was accepted, and so I was like, man, I'm not sure that I want to go to college. I kind of want to go to LA. So I was this close to going to the University of Toledo, and because I used to visit there a lot to see my friend, and then I bailed on college and moved to LA. But yeah, that was going to be my school.
Quite a culture shock from San Francisco to Toledo, but the city's actually. I mean, I've lived in a lot of places. I was in San Diego when we started playing Meet Virginia and Indianapolis, and now Toledo. Toledo's a cool little town, man, and thriving. I
Yeah.
know you're a big golf fan. We'll talk about that in a minute. In 2 weeks, we've got the Solheim Cup here in Toledo.
Oh, that's cool. Well, a very good friend of mine in where I live in Washington State, he was destined to be the CEO of Costco, and he retired early, but he's from Toledo. So I was trying to get him to come out so we could play some golf together, and then we would do the show. But he's not doing it.
Well, if you want to play golf, let me know, and I'll make it tee time. And if you want to play and give me lessons because I know you're a scratch golfer, man, I could use some help before my next scramble.
Man, I'm not the guy to give you lessons. Trust me. You don't want anything to do with my putting experiences.
See, if I bring any value to a scramble, it's that you can let me putt first, and if I don't make it, I can at least show you the line.
Oh, that's something. I mean, for people who don't know golf, like many people putt first just to get them out of the way because they're not going to help you at all. But I like that you can at least show somebody the line. That's cool.
So I love to play, and I've been playing for a long time. I've not gotten any better at all, but I love to go out there, have a couple of beers, smoke some
Yeah.
cigars, have some good laughs with friends. But
Yeah.
up until like literally this year, I couldn't get my drive off the ground. Like
Yeah.
I would be lucky if I could get my 3-wood to the women's tee. Now I'm able to go a good 150 yards, which it still takes me twice as many strokes to get on the green as you, but I'm having fun. So
Yeah.
I'll drive and I'll pick up my ball and then I'll chip it in and we'll be done with
Yeah.
that hole.
I think when you're a certain level of player where you're either a beginner or you're struggling, doing a scramble is just way more fun. Like if I went golfing with you and we had two other people, you and I would be a team and we would play best ball and like just keep hitting that way. It just makes it more fun.
Right.
Then the camaraderie is really what you're there for instead of like trying to score.
Yeah. So we would be playing your ball is what you're saying.
I mean, most of the time, probably. I don't
know.
know.
It's fun because Toledo does have a growing golf culture here with the Solheim here. When Stefani's going to do a show, Chris Young is doing a show that weekend. That's going to be a big deal for Toledo. But we've got so much great music in this area, and which is why I'm excited to talk to you and see you guys on
Yeah.
Sunday night. It's been years since I've caught a Train show, and man, you guys really know how to rock.
Well, this is a different kind of experience since we haven't been able to perform for 2 years. This enthusiasm and energy and love in these venues is like it's over the moon. It shows you how human we all are, where you take something away like live music and that experience and the longing that we have for it, like from both parts, being on stage or experiencing the live music. I think everybody will tell you if they've been to a live show, it's the best live show they've ever been to, if it's in the past few months.
I would look forward to it for that very reason. And I think people are so excited to share that emotional bond that you get from live music. There's that shared experience from songs you love, but also from being there to watch it performed live.
I 100% agree. It really is like that.
We're talking with Pat Monahan from Train. So what's the past year and a half been like for you and your team and the band and your crew? It's, there are obviously guys like you that are able to make it through, but there are road techs and bus drivers that really haven't been able to get out on the road and earn an income for so long.
Well, I was able to keep everybody going for this time, and it was really unfun. And we wrote songs and tried to make the best of it and did virtual shows. And, it's been a tough go, but we didn't suffer like many others. So we're trying not to complain about it.
Yeah. And I've talked to a couple of people about this. I think we're about to see an explosion in creative content. People like you have been able to write music and be uninterrupted by being on tour. And I think we'll see an explosion of TV shows and movies and music from people who've had time to really work on their craft and work on that art for the last few months.
Yeah, it's taken me a lot of work to be creative during this, because it's kind of like being forced to be creative. Like I like to be on the road. I like to write songs on the road, or come home from being on the road and be inspired, because you're seeing what it takes to get people excited in a room. So you come home inspired, and when you're forced to be creative, it's not as easy. So I hope that you're right.
I don't want to drag you into a political conversation by any means, but there's a lot of talk now because of the vaccine and masks, and Live Nation, some other promoters, many bands are talking about requiring vaccines to come into a show. We're not doing that Sunday night, but are you concerned about your safety at all, about the health and safety of your fans at all?
Why is that political?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I talk about this on my show all the time, masks and vaccines for whatever reason, because we as a country have become so divided, and everything is partisan. It's a political issue, whether it should be or not. It's become political. I'm vaccinated and just got over 2 weeks of COVID a few days ago and came back to the studio.
Really?
But I had so many people ask me, why did you get tested if you're vaccinated? Why did you get tested if you didn't have any symptoms? Why did you get vaccinated? I mean, because I've got an immunocompromised son that I'm trying to protect, and there are many other people who may not come out of COVID without the symptoms or lack of symptoms that I did. I think it's the responsible thing to do, but you get questioned about that because it is a controversial subject, even though it shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, it's not political to me. The way we had to do this, because we have to travel in a bubble, there's like 20 of us, is the only way that I could, guarantee that we could continue to do this is if everybody was vaccinated. And so nobody left or said, I'm not doing it. And that was a good start. Whether you want to call it being responsible or being scared or whatever, I know that I did it because my wife is type 1 diabetic, and I don't want that stuff. Like, I just want death off the table. So there's nothing political about that to me. And then as far as people coming to shows, like, there's no spike after we leave. We're not going to come into Toledo and then you're going to read an article about things. And that's the way live music has been. We've been keeping really good track of all of it. So I think people are being responsible at train shows, and I think all live venues. There's probably always going to be some new cases, but I don't think that has to do with live music or venues or anything. I think it's just people's choices, and they catch up. So that's going to be the way it goes.
Even Lollapalooza was able to pull it off without becoming a super spreader event, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think every my managers manage all the bands on the Hell Omega tour, the Fall Out Boy, Weezer, and Green Day, and so my manager and I talk all the time about, hey, we just left Boston. There's nothing to write about the next day. We left New York, we left Florida, whatever. And I think it's a great indication that people are being cool, they're being responsible, and we're getting through this, and people are having a great experience at these live venues, and they're not being harmed.
We're talking with Pat Monahan of Train here on the Scott Sands Show. Train in concert Sunday night at the Toledo Zoo Amphitheater. Some tickets are still available for that. Also celebrating the 20th anniversary of Drops of Jupiter, one of the best albums ever recorded, one of my favorite albums of all time. I can't believe it's been so long since that song came out. It's as fresh today as it was when we first played it.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, that's a great compliment. It feels like it's been about 312 years. But yeah, it's cool. We're playing Drops of Jupiter. We're playing songs from that album as opposed to new music, even though we have a record that is almost ready that will come out in the fall. But like playing new music for people that aren't familiar with it just is mean, and we're not going to do that,
Well, and not only do you have the new record coming out, but you're also working on a Christmas record, I believe.
Well, the Christmas record, we have a Christmas album called Christmas in Tahoe, and then we add music to it. Instead of like, let's have a new Christmas album, we just keep adding music to the already done one. And we're recording a movie for Hallmark that's called Christmas in Tahoe. And so as soon as this run of dates is over, we'll go to Vancouver and shoot that movie, and then you'll see it this Christmas.
So will it be the typical Hallmark plot where a woman moves back to a small town, meets a rock guy in a rock band who moved back to his hometown wearing some sort of lumberjack shirt, and they get a house with the snow, and they live happily ever after? That's the plot.
You nailed it.
Everybody loves those, and they are so cheesy. But if you turn one on, you can't turn them off because you know exactly what the plot line is going to be.
And who nobody wants their movies to trick them.
No, you're not going to be tricked by a Hallmark movie. And
you're not going to Hallmark to watch Pulp Fiction.
No, you don't want to see that. If you want that, you can put on the Oxygen Network and get all the murders you want. So
you can get all the murders you want.
I'm a romantic at heart, so I see those stories, and I admit, sometimes I tear up, and I'm like, why have I not met the divorcee who moved back to a small town in Northwest Ohio and is just looking for a 50-year-old short, fat white guy to marry? That doesn't happen to me.
It does on Hallmark, bro.
Right. That should be reality. As a kid of the 80s, I grew up idolizing like the Breakfast Club. Why didn't I have that group of friends and after school detention? No, it was a bunch of losers who cut class. I never made friends like that in high school. It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was that was the Breakfast Club, man. That movie was so awesome to me. And the songs, I love that movie.
What's your favorite band from the 80s then?
I don't know. I guess Tears for Fears, maybe. Were they late 80s?
Yeah, they were late 80s. I've got to go with like U2, I think. Which
I wasn't ever a U2 guy.
No?
Mm-mm.
I know you were just talking about the Zeppelin album, and I've seen you guys do all the Zeppelin stuff. That's a 70s band, but another one of those timeless rock bands.
Yeah, there's two things I don't want anything to do with: U2 and Me Too.
That might be the best line ever.
Nothing to do with either one of those, baby.
Pat, I know you got other interviews and other people to talk to, but I'm so excited to see you Sunday night, Toledo Zoo Amphitheater. Can't wait to rock out with Train. Tickets are still available. I'll have links on the website. We'll play some Train here in a second too. Pat, great to see you, man.
Great to see you, Scott. All right, thanks. I'll see you soon, all right?
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.